What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Redriveraviation. Hope you're having a fantastic day today. And today we have Tulsa International Airport news for the month of March 2024. I really hope each and every one of you are excited for today's video. And without any further delay, let's go ahead and get started. Already a quarter of the way through the year, and we have some exciting developments for this month here at Tulsa International Airport. So I really hope all of you are excited to dive into this. And without any further delay, let's go ahead and get started. Picking up where we left off last month with Mr. Perini's departure as he was the Chief Commercial Officer here for nearly 5 years, we have a new position at Tulsa International Airport, and that's going to be a new Director of Marketing and Community Relations. So on March 11th, 2024, Tulsa International Airport Improvement Trust, or Tulsa Airport Improvement Trust rather, named Stephanie Chester as the Director of Marketing and Community Relations. So congratulations to Mrs. Chester on taking this brand new role. She'll be responsible for strategic planning and marketing and community engagement activities for all airports under TAIT's umbrella. So that's going to be Tulsa International and Tulsa Riverside, as well as fostering relationships with commercial and cargo airlines to drive additional airline activity through retention and capacity enhancements of airline service for Tulsa International, of course. So what it appears to me that they did is they split up Mr. Perini's roles into various other positions, and they needed a new position in the leadership team to fulfill some of those functions, and that's going to be this Director of Marketing and Community Relations. And I think Mrs. Chester is going to do a wonderful job in this role. She's been on the team since January of 2016, and she's worked on various projects, including the launch of Propel TUL, which is a huge project that's currently going on, enhancing it with additional projects inside of it that are currently enhancing the airport experience. And she heavily contributed to the new suspended artwork that's going to be Project Sunrising that will be above TSA in the airport. So I think she's going to fit this role really well. She also has a new position here on the leadership team for Tulsa Airport Improvement Trust executive team, as you can see over here. She has a graphic public relations and graphic design degree from the University of Central Missouri. So I think she's going to do a really good job, and I look very forward to seeing what she can do with this new position. So I think I'm pretty confident that she's going to do a good job. She's been under various leaders, and she's also been here for 8 years now, which is crazy. So I think she has seen the best and the worst, and I think that she'll be able to do a really good job for the airport. She's already contributed heavily, and I'll talk about that shortly, but nevertheless, really excited for her new positions. Congratulations to her. And now that gives us 12 people here on the executive team, which is fantastic. And as you can see now, Mr. Paul Myers will now be the Executive Vice President and Chief Operating Officer. So I don't know if they're not really, there's not two of them anymore. So there's just one Executive Vice President now. So I think this will work really well, and I look forward to it as we now have the Chief Executive Officer, Executive Vice President, 9 directors, and an airport manager here. So overall, looking really good, and looking forward to seeing what the future holds in this department. So congratulations to Mrs. Chester on that position. Very awesome right there. Spring break also happened here throughout the airport, as they expected around 114,000 passengers, which is a high number between March 15th and March 24th, and they gave some tips, so that's wonderful. They even had to open additional parking because the normal parking completely sold out, which is really crazy to see. So definitely awesome to see that people are getting out for spring break and helping those airport numbers, which is super awesome. So they gave plenty of great advice there, so feel free to read through it if you would like to, but nevertheless, really awesome to see all that great news right there. So that was quite wonderful. We also had a very exciting movement as Tulsa International Airport and Discovery Lab opened a new play area inside the terminal, which is quite awesome. So we talked about this previously. This is a really fast moving project, and they got it done within a few months. So that's quite awesome. So they did open it as they expected before spring break on March 14th. So just in time. I have some pictures here to show, and I have seen people using it so far. So that is quite wonderful. It's a really cool facility. I don't even know if that's the proper word, but a really cool exhibit here in the airport that people can use with this play area. And overall, I think it's going to be quite helpful going into the future. So you can see here, it is between gates B7 and B9. And there's plenty of other features there that I'll show you in a picture coming up. But there's a bunch of various I don't even know what the word is. There's little sand shakers and other various pieces in there that are really cool to complement the climbing area that they have there. So overall, I think this is really awesome to see, and I think this will be quite healthy to say the least going into the future. So again, between gates B7, B9, right across from the United gates, and it should be quite awesome. So really great to see that right there. That is certainly quite awesome to say the least. That's super exciting. Here's Propel TUL once again as well. So as you can see here, the Discovery Play area has fully opened. So that was the next step in the timeline. Now we're on to the wayfinding directional signage and the air traffic control tower. This is actually just saw this. This has been moved to June of 2024. So let's see if there's any additional updates here since we last talked about it. They still have this potential bids award in April 2024. I've not heard any about that, but they did put June 2024 there on the marker now. So this continues to get moved back slightly. So hopefully this will be underway here soon. We have assessed this pretty thoroughly in previous videos of the series, so feel free to take a look. But nevertheless, it's still making some good progress there. But I think the wayfinding's coming along real well, so I'm looking forward to that. You have to go to Charlotte recently to see what that's kind of like, so that's awesome. And then we'll have the sunrising art installation in June as well. And then this takes us on to some other work that's going on. This is also new. The plane spotting observation area is pushed back to January 2025. That's news to me. I didn't see any changes here. I think that this part has not still changed, but they have put summer 2025 here. Maybe they meant to, they did retitle this the summer 2025. I wonder what happened here. Maybe they're still exploring options. I did send in a document to help this out, and I did suggest quite a few ideas, so maybe they're just evaluating those heavily. But it's certainly pretty interesting. Not the end of the world, of course. They're still working on it, which is great news. So I'm sure that's just going to take a little bit longer than what they initially expected to, if they're going to add various facilities or any other new amenities, it's going to take more time than what possibly was initially anticipated. So that actually might be good news. There may be some really exciting developments if it's going to take much longer than they anticipated. So we'll continue to keep checking in on that. Otherwise, all this remains the same. I think the entry signage was still slated for, it may have been June, now it's September, so not too big of a delay there, but they have started work on that. They've covered up the old ones. So overall, definitely some interesting changes here. But again, if it's for the best, then you can't really complain with it too much. So glad to check in on that, and I'll be interested to see what's going on there with the observation areas, whether it's actually going to be January or the summer of 2025 now. So keeping all eyes on that, and we'll see if we have any additional news here in the future. We also got the activity report here for 2024 January. I'm just showing you the 2022 numbers here. So you can see 161 went up to 203 in January 2023. That's good for a 26% increase. We're not going to see that high again, obviously, because March 2023 was really when the airport started to get back to relatively normal levels. So if we go on to 2024, you can see it was 209,000, so still a 3% increase month to date, as you can see, compared to January 2023. So quite exciting that the numbers were that even an additional 6,000 passengers, still leading the way there with deplanements taking the lead for January, which is quite impressive. So overall, looking really good here with the numbers. Cargo is slightly down, of course, but not completely surprising considering where the cargo is in the landscape compared to where it was. We also have a negative 5% total operations decrease, mainly GA local and military contributing to that. There's been some military changes as of late. Also, it's worth noting that the F-16s were deployed for some time, so that could contribute to that. But as for GA local, I don't know exactly what the reason for that is. Air carriers up 10% though, so that's certainly very exciting, up 300 airplanes. So certainly really great to see that, but I really don't know what's going on there with the GA local. They possibly could have relocated the majority of it to Tulsa Riverside. They had a runway closed and still closed even right now for a period of time during that time frame, so that might be the reason, but not a major concern. Just a note that's still down quite a bit, but people are still using TUL for GA local, as you can tell, so that's really great news. Let's also talk about this exciting news that Mrs. Chester contributed to. New grant could help bring more direct flights to Tulsa International Airport, as Tulsa did come home with a $2 million grant, which is super exciting. I believe it was from the was it Oklahoma Aerospace Commission? I don't see it anywhere here, but you can see in these couple of lines here that it was a $2 million grant to continue to help contribute. 3.1 million passengers in 2023, and the momentum continues to get climb. 3.3, 3.4 is not unrealistic, especially if the summer's as big as what they're projecting it to be. So the current 5 cities that are being targeted right now include San Francisco, San Diego, Seattle, and Boston are the domestic ones. I don't know why Cancun wasn't mentioned here, but that one was mentioned in the board meeting for this month. So overall, definitely some super exciting developments. I would love to see one of those. San Francisco and Seattle are definitely the top 2 in my opinion. However, the other 2 would certainly be just as good. So I think United San Francisco would be a huge move, or Alaska to Seattle, either one of those. We'll see if we get there. Sorry about the itches, guys. I apologize. But anyway, I'm looking very forward to seeing what we can do here, and it's going to be super exciting to add additional air service with that $2 million grant. So it doesn't guarantee any new service, but certainly helps attract it. So let's hope that continues right there. We also had a wide array of Instagram posts this month, including some various storytime announcements, and we do have also another new art feature right here, and this is located inside the terminal. I think we talked about this last month, but it's still worth seeing some additional pictures of it. This is right next to the Chili's, walking over the Terminal A rather, and you can see how cool some of this history is. So definitely really cool to get to see that. Feel free to pause and take a look at it if you want to, but definitely some really great work right there. And then, of course, highlighting International Women's Day with Mrs. Alexis Higgins. So thank you so much for all of her work as the CEO. Another story time post right there. And here's a really good reel here exhibiting the new installation here of the Discovery Lab, which I think is super cool. And we should have a better picture coming up soon. That was a spring break post. That's going to be the spring break schedule for the music that they had during spring break. So that was quite awesome. And you can see how packed it was here for all these flights for Allegiant and Delta. And then panning on over, you can see here's where they have the Tulsa TUL, which is quite awesome. You had the sustainability right there, which is quite awesome. Sustainability Alliance, F-16 flying around looking awesome. Highlighting Autism Awareness Month, so definitely a really good purpose there. Take a look at those sensory areas. And then also Era, Oklahoma. This was April, but close, as you can see here, for the state capitol, which is really cool. Really awesome event for state of Oklahoma. It was sad to miss this, but they definitely highlighted all kinds of various projects here, including Propel TUL. I'm not sure what's right there. And then you can see also some various Tulsa merchandise, which is quite awesome. So great to have the airport represented, even the flight simulator here, quite cool. So definitely some really great developments here on the Instagram as well. Let's also go ahead and take a look here at the flight schedule for this month. As you can see, I didn't intentionally wait a couple days, but it ended up working out, so I can show you the schedule here for April on Flight Radar. So actually, I probably should go ahead and zoom in so you can see it a little bit better. So let's go ahead and do as much of that as we can. So as you can see, relatively standard. Allegiant now has the St. Petersburg flight on Sundays coming in earlier in the day, kind of similar to the summer, so cool to note that. Let's see if we have any others here. Southwest remains pretty similar along with the others. Some slight time variation, but pretty similar. The first major change to note, that's a maintenance flight, by the way. United is now sending SkyWest CRJ700s from Denver, so that's awesome in the afternoons and evenings, depending on the day, so that's pretty awesome. We also have, where is it? I'm looking for it. Let's see. Also, Houston isn't quite as many flights on other days of the week, but on Sundays, it's quite a few. American is now sending a 737 here instead of a regional, so we're starting to get up to that summer mainline tick. So now we have a 737 in that slot. United has also brought back their second overnight Houston flight. It's on an E175, so that's quite wonderful. And all of this, I think, second daily Phoenix flight on Americans came back, and it is selling out super well. So much so that they already pushed up the initial launch of that second daily flight coming back, instead of being November of this year now up to September, which is what I was rooting for the whole time. So American, really good work on that. That's quite wonderful. And all of this still remains the same, I believe. Oh, actually, Charlotte is now on the 737-800 for American this month. That'll go back to what it was previously. And you can also see it is on the E175 for the first time in quite some time. Sorry for missing that. I went a little fast. So as you can see right here, Envoy 175. I think this came in previously 1 or 2 months that we had this on the afternoon flight, but kind of cool change up. So we'll take that for different. But the PSA 900s will be back before we know it. And also want to take a look here at the Allegiant schedule. It's an A320 early in the morning for Orlando Sanford. Los Angeles remains on 319 at a similar time. And Vegas is still in the evening and around the 9 p.m. time frame. Unfortunately, I don't have enough time here to show you, but it's like 9:30 or so. So overall, all that's looking really good here for Tulsa International Airport. And we did have some interesting movements through March that I want to cover, including United having a snow meltdown. So you can see here's a ferry flight with 002921. So pretty interesting, but luckily they were able to get all the passengers out still to the best of their ability. Another screenshot here highlighting this ferry flight to Wichita, because that's where the plane was going to go to. And then it went on to Houston with the ABC model. So I thought that was kind of cool. And you can see Denver here for Southwest canceled. We had a bunch of Kansas City diversions, not for Airliners International, but plenty of Kansas City diversions for severe weather there, including several American flights, 321, 738, a couple Southwest 737s, a Delta A220-300, to my knowledge, the first time at 223, has visited Tulsa for Delta, so that was super cool. There's another Southwest, a Delta 737-900. One of this 5 a.m. actually had the stay till like 6:46, and you see the red here. It didn't leave till like 6 p.m. the next day, which is crazy. And that's a normal American flight. So yeah, pretty interesting work right here, but definitely really neat to see that. First time I can remember Kansas City diversions, pretty neat. Memphis also got slammed by the same storm, so we had several FedEx diversions too, including two A300s, a 767, and an MD-11. So that was super cool to get the breakdown right there. So really cool to see all the FedEx diversions. That was quite wonderful. Did I load the same picture twice, or did I just clicked on the wrong one? My bad. Here's some the Discovery Lab when it just opened with the balloons, looking really good. And then this next picture was highlighting what I'm talking about. So you have a sand shaker. You can see some other really cool features here, and some writing for the younger fellows to learn, which is quite awesome. Some dots here that change colors, among others. So that's quite awesome. And sorry that I don't have a good picture of this piece right here, but obviously the kids can climb up all in it, and it looks really good, so that's quite awesome. The last picture that I have, I know this is pretty small, but honestly, I just think it looks really good. United did add new stanchions to the mainline gate, gate B8, for boarding, so you can see zones 1 and zone 2 now have really wide stanchions there. So organizing will be a little bit, the boarding process will be a little bit more organized, so that's awesome. I look forward to hopefully getting to do that here in the near future when it does work out. So I'm looking very forward to all of that. So yeah, some really interesting and exciting developments here at Tulsa International Airport. I really hope all of you enjoyed this. There are some schedule changes way out, which is really exciting. Phoenix, I mentioned, along with there's currently, for the first time in a very long time, 4 daily United flights to Chicago scheduled for October. We'll see if that comes through or not. United, unfortunately, also had to reduce the schedule for July, so we did lose out on the main line to Houston for just July. It will be back in August, which is awesome, and then June still remains as well. So overall, looking really good. I hope you all enjoyed this. Thank you all so much for watching. Gotta take this phone call. So thank you all so much for watching. Take care, guys, and I'll see you soon.